Hi, I'm Ethne Gale and this is my 2022 eligibility and short fiction recommendations video. I'll summarise the stories that I had published last year and discuss 10 of my favourite stories that I read in 2022. I know this video is later than usual. I'd originally planned to film it in December last year and then I got what I'm still probably not supposed to say on YouTube, but in Australia we call the spicy cough, and that threw a huge spanner in the works, and now it's February. As is traditional, I will talk briefly about my own eligibility first. I had 6 original stories published in 2022 and they are Neuro, about 5,100 words in The Art of Being Human anthology, is about recording and playing our life experiences, including touch, smells, temperature, etc., like we would currently do with YouTube videos. Rewind, about 1,000 words at The Dread Machine. This is a second person, told in reverse ghost story that was recently shortlisted for 2022's Brave New Weird. The White Factory, about 1,600 words, came out in The Quarterly Volume 3. Many women with the same name are invited into a converted factory to play a game. They have to collect as many rings as possible from a maze of puzzle rooms. Restoration and Inheritance are both very short science fiction pieces that had to be 200 words or less for competition requirements, came in 2nd and 3rd respectively in their competitions, and were both published in Stupefying Stories. And finally, Feywild, about 5,000 words, was published in Wild Blood 10. This is my love letter to the monster taming / creature collection genre, including a monster taming boarding school and illegally travelling to the dark realm that the monsters come from. If you only check out one of my pieces and you're looking for something easily accessible and free to read, I would suggest a Rewind. I'll link to everything in the video description. On to the recommendations. As usual, to qualify for this list, a story had to be first published in 2022, shorter than novel length, free to read online, and actually read by me. So obviously I've only read a small fraction of the short fiction that was published last year. With all of that said, here are 10 of my favourite stories that were published in 2022. Your Space Between by Murray Croak in Apex magazine. A really clever story about technology that can layer 2 spaces on top of each other. At first that seems really exciting to the reader and to our protagonist, and then it's horrifying instead because of what goes wrong. If this was in a physical book, it would be a real page turner, and I love how grounded in reality this feels, like it could easily happen 10 years from now. Mull de Caribou by Becca de la Rosa in The Dark. One of those rare stories that I immediately reread upon finishing. Initially, this seems to be a straightforward tale about an older woman hiring a private chef, but it slowly reveals more and more, and I thoroughly enjoyed the gut punch at the end. The Hotel Endless by Davian Orr in Diabolical Plots. I immediately loved the concept here, a magical, ever-growing hotel and all of the delighted people it houses and entrances. It's almost entirely a feel-good story, which I don't come across very often, certainly not to this calibre. 10 Poisons That Cannot Kill the Queen by Murray Croak and Anna Madden in Lackingtons. Beautifully written, perfectly paced, and gripping from the first line. An unexpected companion to the Queen may be her destruction, her saviour, or both at once. The 22nd Lover of House Rousseau by C.M. Fields in Diabolical Plots. A pleasingly fragmented tale of many marriages and 500 years of android servitude, culminating in a perfectly satisfying ending. I particularly enjoyed the atmosphere and setting, a vivid journey across space, several planets, and multiple human lifetimes. The Bones Beneath by Vanessa Fogg in Podcastle. Another highly atmospheric tale. The present day of the story feels to me like wet earth soaking through the gardens of a pretty town. Fogg masterfully captures the claustrophobia and day-to-day stress of an oppressive government and how it can tear friends and neighbours apart from the inside. Lily the Immortal by Kylie Lee Baker in Uncanny Magazine. An excellent story about a dead YouTube star, the grief of the secret girlfriend she left behind, and the star's subsequent pseudo-resurrection, because why would capitalism let death stand in the way of profit? I'm fascinated by how pieces of us may survive on the internet and through other technology after we die, and this piece feels very realistic for the near future. The Eternal Cocktail Party of the Damned by Fonda Lee in Uncanny Magazine. An absolutely scathing takedown of social media in the form of a fantasy story. Sharp as a knife, this is likely to resonate with anyone who considers themselves extremely online. Girl, Cat, Wolf, Moon by Rati Mehrotra in Uncanny Magazine. A lovely, surprisingly dark story about a girl who discovers a magical cat market. I particularly appreciated the ending to this one because I didn't expect it, but it fits perfectly. Mulberry Down by Nicole Korner-Stace at nicolekorner-stace.com. This is the longest story on this list and the most unusual. Unexpectedly casual, like you're talking to a friend or reading someone's long-term blog, and deliciously wistful and intriguing. It's a loving deconstruction of a smorgasbord of portal fantasy tropes with a lot to potentially unpack and analyse, plus a ton of lore. I love lore. There was a truly excellent shortlist of stories for me to pick from in 2022, even compared to previous years. I could have easily created a list of 20 of my favourite stories of the year instead of 10. Of the 10 that I did pick, there were some similarities and running themes throughout them that I noticed. 2 of the stories are about poisoning, 3 are about revenge, 2 feature characters who are struggling with near-future technology, 5 are queer in some way, and 3 feature characters who are entranced by a location and want to stay. So that's my 2022 wrapped up in terms of reading and publishing short fiction. If you also have an eligibility or a recommendations post, I'd love to see it. Please let me know down in the comments. If you'd like to see more videos like this, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.